Live. Those are captions. Sorry, we're new to this. We'll give it a little bit to make sure it's working. Then we're going to check it. We're looking. Hear me? Everything right? Yeah? Everything looking good?
Yeah.
So if we give it a few minutes just to give all anyone who wants to join, give them a chance. Any? Hope your Saturday's going well so far. It is quite early saying that. But we might need to start moving around, don't know. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this as well today. My neck's a little bit stiff today, so hopefully it'll give me a little chance to loosen up a little bit as well. Oh, what's it saying? So just to clarify, this is all body weight. These are all body weight movements. We're going to do full body cars first, and then we do some upper and lower body mobility. There's a little bonus section if we get to it, but I'm trying to keep this to 45 minutes because I'm trying to keep people kind of somewhat engaged. So, and then after that, then we'll end some breath work. So I'm just going to confirm that we're still looking good. Thumbs up. Sounds good. So that's it. So to reiterate now, this is like we're starting. We're going for it. So we're going to start. We're going to have 3 sections essentially today, mostly 2. So we have our full body CARS movements. So CARS stands for controlled articular rotations. So that's where we're going to go start from our head down pretty much to our ankle and move our joints in a full range of motion, just to kind of work in the range of motion and make them feel nice. Then we're going to do some upper body mobility and lower body mobility, but both is going to be floor based because it's basically easy to video and it's a bit nicer to work around. So we do upper body circuit and a lower body circuit, and then if we have time, we'll do a bonus thing, and then we'll end with some breath work. That's the 3 things that we are going for and planning for today. What's time now? 33. Well, we'll get going. If someone joins in, they can catch up where we were. We like to be prompt. Okay, so it's where I'm sorry then. Standing here, okay? See everything? Yeah. Okay, we're going to start with so that's it. Start with our CARS routines. We're going to start with our neck, which means we're going to do like neck rolls. Mine might look different to mine because one, I've got a hat and I've got a microphone on. So we're going to look down. Oh, sorry, I should have said first. We're going to look, just stand up, just hanging loose, relax everything. Then what we're going to do, we're going to look down, then move your head round slowly to the side, then send it to the back, looking up, the other side, then look down again. So what we're going to do, we could try and move nice and slow and controlled. We'll do 3 each way. So that was 1. So we're going to do another one. Make sure that we rotate our neck, bending our neck, and then flexing it. You might find that as you go one way, you sort of notice stiffness, tightness. Again, with what I like about doing these CARS is that you're trying to identify where that tightness or limitation is. It's just all these are about is 1, working your joints in ways that they might not go to. Like we might get stuck in certain positions, is just make sure that our body knows we're still happy getting into them positions. And then also you're trying to find any areas of tightness. That's 3 for me. Then we'll just do it all nice and loose off. Next, we're going to do our scap. So this is our shoulder rolls. So we're going to start just nice and loose. Then we're going to bring our shoulders forward, then up, then back, and then down. forward, up, back, down. So I say these are shoulder circles or shoulder rolls, but you can think of them like a square as well. These are a bit easier, so we're going to do 5 backwards. 5 backwards. We'll do 5 forwards. We're trying to squeeze like our chest together at the front, put our shoulders down, then squeeze our shoulder blades back, crunch up, and forward. Back, up, forward, down. I'm going to do 2 more because I've lost count. And anytime you lose count, the answer is always 2 more. All right. Ooh. When you're doing them, you might feel like quite crunchy and quite like poppy. Again, any noises make no odds whatsoever. Noises don't mean anything. We're all fine. And now I'm going to go on to, I'm going to kneel on the floor, but you can do this standing up. It's just in order to get my thing, everything in camera, I need to go onto the floor. You might need to do like that because it's going to go to there. Just left it where it was. So I'm now kneeling, but you can stay standing up. So this is going for our shoulder. So you're going to put your palm to the side. You're going to bring that up over your head. Turn your palm out at the top, then come down behind you. That's 1. We're going to do 2 more that way. You might see that that's where my range of motion is. It doesn't mean yours is there as well. And the other thing to know why we would do these, I put my hand here to isolate the feedback. What happens is we might have a tendency to get to this part and turn our whole torso, and then we're not really working our shoulder. So make sure that we keep our torso facing forward, and then our arms comes down as much as it can behind us. That's 3 back. Now we're going to go back the other way. So we're going to bring our palm out, back up to the top, and then down to the forward. I'm going to do 3 this way. Same thing. You're trying to keep your torso nice and still, and just work your shoulder. So obviously, although this is the arm movement, this is all shoulder movement. We're trying to work our shoulder to the range of motion now your hands. Nice and slow. Down to the front. Now that's 3 each way for me. So now I'm going to go back to onto my left side. The same thing again. Palm on the inside. I like to hold my torso there. So bring forward to the top. Turn it out. And again, it's about recognizing where you feel tightness, where you feel stiff. Like, for example, for me, if when I'm doing this, compared to my right side, on my left side, I feel like a stretch down along like my, between my bicep and tricep area, which I'm aware of. All that means, again, it doesn't cause me any issues during day-to-day life. It's like I'm doing these kind of things here. What it means is that I might need to do some work to strengthen that muscle or lengthen that muscle. So again, it's about trying to realize where you feel tight, where you feel stiff. That's 3 for me. Okay, Tim is going to be so kind now as to angle the camera down now. So I'm now sitting on the floor. I've got my, I'm on my ankles, but you can do this sitting on a chair as well. It might be a bit more difficult standing, so I would recommend at least either sitting on the floor like I am or sitting on the chair. Now we're going to think about, we're going to work our thoracic spine. So if we have our spine, we have our back, our lumbar, we have our neck, and then we have this bit in the middle of our trunk, which is our thoracic spine. Very mobile part of the body. So we're going to work just our thoracic spine, because otherwise we cheat. So what we do, we're going to put our thumbs under our chin. Try and bring our elbows together. And then from there, our thoracic spine can move in a lot of ways. So we're going to flex forward. The reason we put our thumbs there is because our neck likes to cheat. We're going to stop it cheating. So flex forward. Then we're going to turn and flex to the side. And we're going to rotate and extend out the back as much as we can. Rotate and flex to the side. Then flex that to the forward. You almost, like we did with our neck, you're then trying to do the thoracic spine. So our thoracic spine can move in a lot of different ways. We're trying to work all them ways. That was 1. We're going to do 2 more right away. So flex forward, to the side, turn that way, extend at the back, then rotate our spine, flex the other way, and slowly go around to the start. We'll do one more. Then at the back, and to the side, and then the start thing. Then we have a little shake off. Then we're going to put our thumbs back in place, because again, the reason we put our thumbs out, I'm locking your neck in place, because what otherwise we can have it doing is that we basically do this, and you're not moving the thoracic spine at all. So make sure we're locking that in place. We put our elbows there so we can keep our thoracic spine, if we can sort of see where we are. So other way now, so extend, so flex to the side, extend out the back, twist to that side, and then come back to the start. A bit nice and flexed. Flex, rotate, then out the back, rotate while we're in that extension, flex to the side, back to the start. We'll do one more that way. Flex, rotate, extend, rotate, flex, flex. Oh, nice. That's also quite good, because having that true extension and flexion and thing where we kind of get stuck in sitting down, it might feel quite nice. Okay, that's our thoracic. Now we're going to do onto our wrists. So you can see how I'm kneeling now. I'm just trying to make it easy to see. Again, if you were still seated, this would be fine. Just as long as you have some way that you can basically put your forearm on your leg. We want to lock our forearm in place. Our other hand is going to basically come just behind our wrist to hold our forearm in place. We're going to make a nice fist, and then we're now going to do our wrist cars. So we're going to, this is called extension of the wrist. So we're going to bring our knuckles back first. We're going to flex it out to the side, slowly rotate it, and then we're going to flex down, run to the side, and then extend it up again. Because these are quite easy, we're going to do 5 one way, 5 the other way, and then we're going to change sides. It's not often we will move our wrist this slowly and with this much intention. So these are, I think, actually are really good. You might find that you start noticing now, this probably more than any other ones that we've done, that your joints or your wrist will start, or your hand, you probably see in your hand, will start like juttering. That is fine. It's just essentially your body's not used to being in certain positions, and you'll make sure it can feel comfortable in that way. That's all that means. Absolutely fine for it to be that way. And of course, I'm talking, I've lost count. You know what that means? 2 more. So 1, last one, and then we're going to go the other way. You can hear all sorts of clicks. Doesn't matter. Clicking, popping. As long as there's no associated discomfort when any of these basic noises are being made, it's perfectly normal. And actually, stuff like air bubble, popping, and click is actually a sign of a healthy joint. So actually, we kind of want to be able to see them. Want to hear that. The reason why we can lock our wrist in place, like I'm doing now, I'll do one more, then I go to the other side and explain it. That's it. Then we're going to do the other side. I'm going to change my legs over. Forearm down, hold the wrist in place. The reason we do this, that way, flex forward, to the side, end up, is because when our forearm twists like that, that movement is an elbow movement. We're not working our elbow, we're working our wrist. That is why we hold our wrist in place. Otherwise, same thing as like with our shoulder. If I don't hold it and we end up doing that, we're not getting true wrist movement, we're getting forearm movement and our elbow movement. We don't want that. We're trying to just lock our wrist in place. I'm going to do 2 more. This is also quite good for moving your wrist in this way if you use if you use a mouse a lot, or even if you're like us, I'm going to go the other way now, and do a lot of gaming. Obviously, you hold the controller in one place for a very long time. And although there is no bad position for anything in your body, there's no such thing as bad posture, there's no such thing as technique, don't ignore all the people trying to sell you a posture correction thing, but there's no something like that, but there is such a thing as holding any position for too long is not good. No matter what the position is, you could be in perfect shoulders back, however you were taught when you were a kid by your gran, shoulders back thing. That is still not, that's not good or bad, but if you held our position for a long time, it would cause discomfort. So we just want to make sure that we are showing our body has access to all these different ranges of movement, just so it has an allowance to do that, and it makes it happy. Okay. That's our upper body done now. Kind of, this is like lower back now. I'm going to come to the side. If you've ever done a cat-cow in yoga, this might seem somewhat familiar. But we're thinking about moving just our pelvis and like our lower back. So you're going to come onto hands and knees. And then we're thinking about that area there. So like our pelvis here. We're thinking about just moving, like squeezing our bum and tilting that forward. And then bringing that, and then kind of put a bit of an arch in your mid back and your lower back. It's called pelvic tilt. Do not worry about moving like a full cat cow. We're just thinking about moving that lower area. If you look at me, you can see that my upper back isn't moving. It's just that kind of basically my bum area, my lower back. 3, I'm going to do 2 more. So we're now showing our kind of lower back. It can go into flexion and extension, and it gets a little bit of blood flow to our lower back. Lovely. Okay, Gemma's just moved the camera, and I'm going to make her move it again now. I'm going to stand up now. So we'll go to standing. What's the camera? What's my beautiful assistant has helped me? Camera in place. So for this is called, so we're now going to do our hip cars. What you might need for this, you might need some kind of support. So I can use the side, you can use a chair. I would highly recommend that because we're trying to isolate just our hips now. So hold on to the side. And then what's going to happen is you're going to bring one leg on the opposite side to what you're holding on to. So you could bring your knee up as high as you can go comfortably. Then we're bringing that knee out to the side as far as you can go. Then we'll twist our leg, come around to the back. Hopefully you'll feel a little bit of stretch in the front of your leg, and then back to the start. That's 1. We'll go do 2 more, and then we'll go the other way. So knee up, out to the side, around to the back, as far as you can go, and then back to the start. Similar to when we're doing our shoulders, we're trying to keep the rest of our kind of torso still. Otherwise, we get to here and we do all this and we do all that. And then we're not moving our hips. We want to move just our hip. We don't want any of this other part of our body moving. So forward, out to the side, round to the back. Don't worry about what your range is. Just work about concentrating and really focus on the control and quality of the movement. That's 3 one way, and I'll go back 3 the other way. So we're going to start here. We're going to go back first, rotate, leg up, round, back to the start. So this way, our hip can move in multiple ways. It can flex, extend, and rotate. 1 more. Now we're rotating it in a different direction. Back to the start. So for you now, I recommend you hold on something at the other side. Make it easy for me. So imagine you're holding something in there. We do our right side. I'm going to do it that way. So now, so again, we go to our hip. Okay, we're going into flexion. Rotate out. Then we push it into some extension. Back to flexion. The reason why I say hold on to something, as you can see, it's a bit hard for me now, is this is now working a bit of balance. And if you haven't got as good balance, it might be a bit harder. And it's harder to keep the rest of your body still. So I would recommend holding on to something. If I did have something, I'd hold on to it. I don't have it. But anyways, now we worked it in that way. We're now going to tell our body, okay, now we're going to push into hip extension. Hopefully, when you do this part, you feel a bit of a squeeze in your bum, and you feel a stretch on the front, down the front of your leg. Then rotate it around the other side, and back to the start. Extend, rotate, the start. We're going to do 1 more. And the other thing as well is that when you're doing it balanced like that, I can feel quite a strong back muscle there working. Not necessarily a bad thing though, to be fair. Okay. We're now going to go back onto the floor, because Jim was waiting for me to be excited about saying that. We're going to go back to Again, you can do this on a chair. It might be easier on a chair. I don't have a chair with anything that far ahead. So we're going to think about putting your leg at a 90 degrees. I might do this. Right. So you put your knee at 90 degrees, toes off the floor. I don't know how you say it because it's a black floor. We're going to put our hands around our shin. And what we're thinking about now, our lower shin, this area here, it can rotate. And for our knee to function well, it needs to be able to, our kind of femur needs to be able to, your tibia and stuff needs to be able to rotate. So hold it there. That's going to encourage movement. Then we're going to encourage it to turn out. So your foot will turn out. And then we're going to come at the start. And then we're going to twist the other way and come in. I took going on an angle. I'm trying to see. Yeah. So twist out. Back to the start. Twist the other way. So we're using our hands to really encourage that movement. We're trying to show and give ever so slight assistance to that. It might feel weird, and it is a very slight movement, and you find that your ankle wants to kind of take over a little bit. And you might, like, when I get to my left side, I'll extend to my left side of my knee. I'm going to do one more each way. Yeah, so when we flex our knee and extend our knee, it has to be able to rotate this part of our body in order to kind of function well. Now I'm going to go to my left side. So like for me, with where I had a knee injury. So remember, 90 degree twist to that side. Like when I do this now on this side, when I turn out that way, I feel much more kind of a stretching and tightness sensation there, just where my knee's probably not as in good condition as my other knee. Just where I had an accident and it would feel a little bit more vulnerable in this position. I have full function of my knee. I flex it fully. And I'm going to do two more each way. It's just so you're aware that it's not a problem to be able to feel a stretch or feel a sensation. As long as the sensation goes away straight away. So when I stop doing that, the sensation goes. That's what we want to see. If you go into something and it kind of lingers, then we might want to have a look into it. But for me, so I'm going to go to the other side now. So again, you can stay seated, you can be on the floor. Last one we're going to do is our ankles. So I like to put my forearm underneath my thigh before my knee, because that's quite a strong position to be in, because then you can kind of hold like that. And then in this position, make sure our ankles off the floor. We're going to do ankle cars. So we're going to think about putting our toes towards our shin and to the side. And then we're going to keep that and then point our toes. And then out to the side. And back to the start. Like I just felt there, you might feel cramping up. Again, is that you're pushing your body into positions it's probably not used to being in. And so our body's like, oh, don't feel like this. So I feel a lot more jottering when I'm doing this. That's 3. I'm going to do 2 more. Again, as long as we're moving slowly, we're moving with control. We're looking for quality of movement more than we're looking for going quick or whatever like that. We're trying to move nice and slow. I think that's 5. Might be 5. We'll go the other way. You might find your toes are kind of moving with you. That's absolutely fine. You might feel parts of your kind of shin start stretching. Again, that's expected because the muscles to move your ankle or in like your shin area or like your lower leg. But again, it's nice to be able to move our ankle. Spend a lot of time walking, a lot of time standing. Our ankle, surprisingly, once you get restricted in ankle movements, how much it affects quite a lot of stuff in life. We'll do one more because I've lost count as always. Boom. Then I'll go to the left side. So again, I'll put my arm underneath my thigh, lift it off the ground. And then I like to, well, you can do it however you want. Then bring a toe towards your shin, get a nice little stretch in the front of your leg. Out to the side, then point your toes. Out to the side. Oh, cramping up me. Again, it's not like anything like that, cramping, anything like that, juttering. It's easier for me because I have confidence in my body that it'll be fine. And this is what's difficult because I have the confidence, I know anything I feel, I know like the rules, the reasons, all that kind of stuff. And not a lot of, but some discomfort or pain can be from uncertainty. So if you're uncertain about should your body be able to do this, that's when your kind of brain can go like, oh, I don't know if I like this, and give you a higher pain signal or help things linger around. But because I have confidence in my body, I'm like, no, this is fine, we're good. I think that's 5, so I'm gonna go the other way now. And I also know that, say for example, I'm like cramping, I know that it's temporary, it'll go away. And so you kind of have to keep breathing through the whole time. And that's 3. I'm gonna do 2 more. It's hard to count and talk at the same time, I've got to be honest with you. Not the easiest thing to do. There we go. Okay, we're going to stay on the floor because that's, so now we're going to do some upper body stuff. We're going to stay on the floor because that's where we need to be. I'm going to have a quick drink. Okay. So, you might be the camera, Gem. Yeah. So, now we're sorted. So this is all going to be upper body stuff. We're going to do 3 things. We're going to do something for core. We're going to do something for our thoracic, something for our shoulders, and some stuff for our wrist. So I'm going to do something for my shoulders first, actually, Gem, so you might need to move up higher. So these are what I would call archers. I don't know the professional name for them. I call them archers. But the first thing you might be easiest to do is basically take your arm behind you and you're trying to bring your fingers together. I'm going to turn around. You can see that one palm's facing out, one palm's facing in, and I can get my fingers touching. This is actually quite a hard position to get into. So it doesn't matter if your fingers can only touch like to there. The main point is that we're putting our hands in this position. And then once we're here, we're going to slowly, I might take my hat actually, let me put it that way. We're going to slowly bring our arms out from that position, and then we're going to switch positions. Then we'll go back behind us, and then try and touch the other way. And that's 1. We're going to do that again. So out, twist our hands, and then back again. And again, we're moving with control, we're moving slow, we're trying to get a nice stretch. So this is now saying that we're putting our shoulders, like straightening them, moving them. We're making our shoulders rotate quite a lot because we don't, although it doesn't seem as though we're rotating them, where we're flexing our elbow behind us, that actually is mostly rotation doing that, which is why if you're restricted here, it's likely either like a length issue in like your lats or your tricep, which is like this bit here, or it's just that your shoulders aren't able to fully rotate. I can't remember if that was the right way or not. We've got to do 2 more. I've got to be careful as well because I'm about to hit a thing on the side. You might also find that as you move through this movement, you warm up a little bit more into it and your fingers can touch a bit more. So like, for example, now with me, where I've done a few of them, my fingers are now close to each other. That's just where our muscles getting warmed up and getting looser, our joints getting looser, and which kind of helps get blood flow, helps loosen everything off. Okay, put my hat that way now. Gem's going to move the camera down now. So next thing we're going to do, this is called thoracic extension rotation. So we're going to have one hand behind our head. Oh, we should have said we're going to be sitting with basically our bum on our heels like that. So we sit like that. If you can't sit comfortably with your knees with this much flexion in your knees, you might need to put something in between your knees. You might put something underneath your ankles, like a towel or something like that, or pillow. But if not, just lean forward a bit often more. But I'm going to say this. I'll do it from the side, might be easy to see. So one hand behind your head, one hand on the floor. This elbow, we're going to flex forward and try and bring that elbow as far this way as you can. And then once you've done as much as you can, we're then going to extend and rotate up. Boom. That's why it's called thoracic extension rotation. So we have our rotation movement, and then we extend in as we rotate up. So we're thinking about with this elbow, with this side, we're thinking about extending up to the ceiling and then twisting to the side. We're going to do 3 more on this side. So flex forward, bring the elbow rotating in, rotate it out, and extend up to the ceiling. Get down to the floor, through the arm, up to the ceiling. We'll do 1 more. Down, extend up. We're going to change sides. So same thing. Other arm on the floor, hand behind the head, flex forward, arm in, extend up, rotate up. Again, same thing as what with other movements. You may find that one side has more movement, one side has other. It's not uncommon because we're human and we're not symmetrical. If people have dominant sides, most of us are right side dominant. What we're right with, that's what we kick with, all those kind of things. Ooh. And then the last thing we're going to do is some wrist stretches. So what we're going to do, we're going to put our palms down facing out, and we're going to rock side to side. Just do a few rocks either way, keeping your palms flat and fingers flat. You're going to take them, hands down, fingers touching, keep the palm down and go side to side. Do a few rocks either way. You should start feeling this little stretch around your wrist. And this is a really intense one. So you're going to bring your fingers facing towards your knees, bring them down onto the floor. You might need to lean over your wrists first and bring them closer. And then you're going to slowly rock back. You're going to feel quite the intense stretch along the inside of your forearm. So I'm going to show you again. We'll go sideways. So you might need to start leaning over a lot more, depending on your range that you have available. And then you go slowly rock back onto it, keeping your palm flat. This bit here, keep it flat. Rock back. Oh yeah. We'll do 3 more of them. Yeah, this is quite the intense stretch. So to make sure you work to what range you have available. Right. So that's 1. We're going to do 1 more round of women things. So Jen might need to move the camera up again. Lovely. So arches again. So again, we're going to get our hands touching like that. And then up, round, same sides, back to the start. Up, round to the sides. Gosh. Again, same thing I said before, like my left shoulder makes all sorts of clicking noises, but I don't feel anything. So to me, it means that my body doesn't mind it, so I don't mind it. These are quite like, because what you can eventually do with these, if you had it, you can use small weights, very small weights. And then you can add weights to them just to make it a little bit harder. We're going to do 1 more. Gosh. Then my assistant's going to bring the camera down. Yeah, having an assistant. I'm going to do our thoracic extension rotations again. So, like we said, 1 hand on the floor, 1 hand on the head, rotate and flex, rotate, extend. We're going to do 5 of these each side. If there's one thing you could do throughout the day when you've been sitting for a long time, this is the thing I would say to you do. You rotate your spine, you extend your spine. Like I said, if you've been hunched over for a long time in one position and your body's like, I need to move, this works pretty much every kind of part of your thoracic spine, which is usually where it gets a little bit stiff. Other side, hand by head, rotate, extend. Goes forward. Extend. Some more. Then like I said before, then we do our wrist stretches again. So if you remember, so fingers facing out, palms down, and just rock side to side. We just rock. Nothing too, this is more about moving our wrists just in kind of set ways. It doesn't matter how much you rock. You might find one wrist on the other. And then we're going to do a bit of flexion. So again, fingertips together, keep the back of your palms down, and rock. Side to side. You might feel all sorts of things because we're kind of pushing your nerves to the end range. And last one, so like I said before, so palms down, fingers down, lean over your hands, and then slowly rock back, keeping that palm down into a really nice stretch on that forearm. And rock into it, rock out of it, sorry. Back into it. Let's do that 5 times. 2 more. Lovely. Little shake off. Now we're going to do our lower body stuff. We're going to get straight into it because time. So we're going to do our knee inflections. So this is where we put our toes together. Toes together, knees just hip width apart, and then we're slowly going to sit back onto our heels, and then slowly come up again. If all you can get to is there, come back up, that's fine. We're going to do 6 of these. So like I said, nice and slow down, nice slow up. Depending on how nice your knees feel, you might need to breathe out as you go down. So it might just help your knees. You go a little bit further into this kind of stretch or movement. But now we're moving our knees into quite a high amount of flexion, which is not something they often go to, but this is very important for healthy knees. I think I've got to do 2 more. I can't remember. And like we're saying, when you don't remember, it's always 2 more. That's our knees done. So then we're going to go into our hips. So, you might move the camera down a bit, Jem. So we're going to start here. Actually, here we're going to start. We're going to start, it's called hip 90-90s. So we're going to start 90 degrees, hands behind us. And then we're slowly going to bring our knees up and then drop down the other way. That's one. Then we're going to go back the other way. So just moving between them 2 positions. And we're basically moving our hip into different realms of rotation. So internal and external rotation. You might find one knee can get lower than the other. Put it down, don't worry about what your lower back's doing. Usually I'd have less movement in your lower back, but today we're just getting ready and used to the movement. You might find one part of your leg feels stretched on the other, then the other doesn't. That's absolutely fine. It's just we're usually biased towards one side being more internally rotated, one side being more externally rotated. I'll do one more this way. That's it. And then we're going to go into ankles. So we'll come into this position. So just almost like a lunge position. We're going to keep our heel. I'll go this way. Heel flat on the floor. We're going to have a knee. We're going to think about, we're going to work our knee over toes in 3 positions. So keeping our heel flat, we're going to rock forward as far as you can, straight over, knee tracking the toe. Then we're going to rock back. You're thinking about bringing our knee in, and then keeping that knee on the inside of your ankle and your ankle flat, the heel flat on the floor. Rock that forward. You see it looks weird now. Then back to the start. Then we've got to think about getting our knee on the outside of our foot and going forward in that. And come back like that. That's one. We're going to do 2 more on that side, or them 3 things. So straight over the toe, keep your heel down, inside of your toe or your feet, and on the outside. Now we're exposing our ankle to different positions. So we're making it a bit more resilient to these weird positions and opening it up so it becomes more available for these positions. That's 3 each me. Then go on the right side. So again, try and see on the camera. So knee tracking over the toe. On the inside. and then on the outside. So again, that's one. I'm going to do 2 more of them. Over the toes, inside of the foot, outside of the foot. Again, you might feel more restricted in one position more than the other. You might find you can't rock forward very far. It's all fine. You see I'm putting a bit of weight on my knee just to help encourage a bit of movement forward. All fine. Okay, so that's one round of them things. We'll do one more of them. So, knee inflections again. So again, knees about hip width apart, toes together, and then slowly go down and slowly come up. Slowly go down, slowly come up. If I had a microphone next to my knees now, all you'll be hearing is crunching. But as you can see, I can sit down there very comfortably. So I've got full flexion in my knees. I have no problem with squatting, step ups, all weighted. So it's just showing that crunchiness isn't a sign of arthritis, isn't a sign of dysfunction. It's none of that. It's just knees make noises. I'm going to do one more because I've lost count. Oh yeah. One of my favourite moves, that is. Oh. Okay, and our hips again. So, like I said, we'll go into 90 position. So, 99 is because it's 90 degrees, 90 degrees, hands behind us, bring your legs up, down to the other side, up, down to the other side. Again, we want to try and avoid any excessive movement of our hips, otherwise, when we get to this point, we have it just hyperextend there. We want to make sure we try and get nice. We want to feel a nice stretch on the outside of our leg there. Whoop! I haven't even made root sound today. I'm pretty good. This is really good and nice to really open up our hips. Oh, that's a big click. I'll do one more each way. Then last thing, back to our ankles. So again, foot up, foot flat on the floor, then knee goes straight over the foot and over the toes, tracking over them toes. Come back, inside, go forward, back, outside, go forward. Again, we're making our ankle more resilient to these positions. So anytime you start rolling your ankle, or put your ankle in weird positions, you're just making you're helping you encourage your ankle to go to end ranges and get comfortable and strong in them positions. When you're walking or hiking, and you walk over you walk over odd stones and your foot has to turn and go weird ways. If we do it in this safe way, in this safe position, safe area, we're making our body and the muscles and our joints understand that, yeah, we can go to the ranges. This is all fine. We're happy here. It's when we don't train in these ranges, in like this safe area, and then we go and roll our ankle or go along a really rocky path or walk up a hill, and we're not used to it, that's when we start seeing problems because we haven't trained or got the capacity for the movements. Last one on the outside. Beautiful. So, because I spend too much time talking, so we're going to leave it there for movement today. So I like to end every session with breath work, like we did last week, like we did with all my sessions. Everyone knows you do stuff with me, we end with breath work. So we're going to lie on the floor. I'm going to turn my cap up because otherwise look thing. So we'll lie on the floor. What I'm going to lie on the floor for a short time before I talk to you. What I like to think about is hands on our lower ribs, because when we breathe in, we want to expand our ribs out. So full exhale. And then our ribs should have moved in then. We're going to hold our hands on our ribs as we breathe in. And we want to apply a little bit of pressure to our ribs. So if you watch my hands, if camera picks up, you'll see my hands move out. So this is me very much exaggerating the movement. So lower ribs, hands move out. And so all we're trying to do now, we're now just trying to relax now. So deep breath in. And then as long an exhale as you can. Nice and slow. If you carry on doing that, I'm going to knee up again, just to annoy Gemma. But if you carry on breathing, so I'm going to stay here now. So if you can carry on, holding your hands on your lower ribs, stay lying down, try and have long exhales. So what that means is we have long exhales to an inhale. It tells our body, it's like almost like a trick to our body that it's time for rest. Exhales are something we call parasympathetic, so resting. Inhales are something called sympathetic, like trying to get ready for action. So by saying to our body, look, we're doing long exhales, we're saying we're resting now. And since we've just done all that movement, we're now saying we're finished with the movement, we're ready to rest now. So just keep breathing into your hands, keep your hands on your lower ribs, keep them long exhales going. We're going to do that for another probably 2 minutes. We're just telling our body now, we're getting the feedback that it's time to rest and we're time to recover now. We're getting something called our parasympathetic nervous system activated, which is like everyone knows it as sympathetic is fight and flight, and parasympathetic is rest and digest. So now we're saying to our body, okay, we've done the movement, we've done the fight and flight, we've done the action, we've done the exercise. Now we're saying, okay, it's time to recover now. And we use our breath to signal to our body, it's time for that. And because the reason I like to tell people to put their hands on their ribs is because ribs need to be able to move in and out. And a lot of time we quite got to bring it into our chest because that's everyone's kind of like tight up here and kind of scrunched, which is why they put the hands in lower ribs so that when our diaphragm, when we breathe in and have a diaphragm moves down, we have expansion in our lower ribs to allow easy, comfortable movement and get bigger breaths in. We'll do another probably 30 seconds. And then we're done for the day. So take your last big breath in now. Breathe into your ribs, and then one last long exhale. And you can get up if you haven't fallen asleep. Hope you haven't fallen asleep. Have a little shake off. And now we're ready for the rest of the weekend now. That's why I like these kind of sessions on a Saturday. I think it's quite kind of rejuvenating. Opens up all your joints. Gets us all nice and open and loose for the weekend ahead. Hopefully you enjoyed what we've done today. Hopefully nothing was too taxing. And I'm going to try and make this kind of a regular Saturday thing. Thank you, Harry. Hopefully you got nice and open and ready for the weekend. And I'm going to try and do some recording if you wanted to do it again. Have any questions about anything we did, about what you felt, let me know. Message me. I can give you some feedback. Enjoy your weekend. See you again next week. Bye now. I'm going to see